Hey, Shalom. Double honors to the apostles of GMS, on the street brothers that be pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Alright, this is going to be a video. I might already done a video of this similar sort in the past, but I didn't go through the videos and check what was what before I did it. But nevertheless, it will have a slightly different spin to it if I have done, and certainly if I haven't done, it'll be hopefully edifying for you brothers out there. And this is the book of 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. And I was thinking about a video that I could do, alright, based on pretty much the spirit that you got out here, man. The vibration that's going out here, you know, it's Saturnalia. So these heathens are going crazy, right? Spending more money than they have, alright? And, you know, they're getting all up into that demonic ass spirit, man. Right? They're getting into that demonic ass spirit. Whereas we as men of the Lord, man, you really don't want nothing to do with it, man. Alright? Because we have our own customs that we need to adhere to. Alright, so that goes without saying. You ain't really supposed to be getting into that vibration. But as all of that shopping and that merry and that joyful spirit is happening, not only are they racking up debt that they're gonna have to consolidate, right, coming into the January month, should January come, right, which is an important statement to say because it goes on to the first statement I made, which was that their destruction is upon us, man. Their destruction is imminent. Alright? It's in the foreseeable future, man. Alright? It's not in the unforeseeable future, it's in the foreseeable future. You can see it. Alright? It's amalgamating, it's preparing. Alright? As a chef has his beef in the pot, it's stewing, man. It's brewing. The thing is getting ready to be finished, man. Alright, and it's a beautiful thing that the Most High Yahweh Shimmy Hawashai has got it to where the elders have been bringing this out for the longest, and it's actually coming to pass, man. See, you got these assholes that talk about all the false prophets and so on and so forth, man. Brothers got videos going back to '08 and prior to that of the elders talking about a war with Russia and America, and that's happening, man. That's happening, man. Right, and that coincides with the scriptures, man. All right. That coincides with the scriptures. Without much further ado, I'm gonna get into this. I've got some supporting statements in the articles over here, but pretty much I'm gonna go through just the book. You know, it's gonna be raw on 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. So this is the first verse, and it says, "War unto Babylon," which you should know. You should know what Babylon is, man. It says, "War unto Babylon and Asia." Babylon being America, all right, because that's the land of confusion, homosexuality, confusion in diet, sexes. You got it to where top athletes, namely Bruce Jenner. Right, can change his sex to Caitlyn Jenner because he feels that that's what's necessary in his life. It's a complete and utter confusion. All right, you got all kind of wickedness. The craziest thing about it, right? Here's the craziest thing about it, right? You only know how crazy it is, and you don't know how crazy it is until you're talking to some of these people that are in this world, man. All right, and it's a normality to them. All right, the craziness that's in this world, the madness, right? The Babylonianisms, right? That are in this world. Really, the Most High doesn't have it to. You know, we're aware of it, but we don't. You know, we don't go through the intricacies of all of that because we're not a part of that wickedness. Right? That's not the society that That's not what we're looking for. That's what we long for. We long for a new Jerusalem wherein dwelleth righteousness. All right. The craziness that's going on out here, we can only begin to imagine what they're doing, man. And that's just the peons, the people of this world, let alone the elites. Okay, so it says, "War will be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack, right, and hair. Bewail your children, right, and be sorry for your destruction is at hand." So you got this merry, happy-go-lucky spirit, right, which the coons and the so-called black woman, they're gonna enjoy all of that, man. They're gonna be getting into all of that, but the scriptures talking to you says, "Gird up yourselves with sackcloth." Right, cloths of sack, and bewail your children. Why are you gonna bewail your children? Because you done sent your boys back out there into the Middle East, and they ain't gonna come back, man. All right, it says a sword is set upon you. All right, and who may be it that turneth it back? And when you see in stories amalgamating like this, all right, making America look stupid, right? It says Russia flies 107 sorties in Syria, eliminating 289 terror targets in 2 days. All right, and that was in 2 days. The question is, what was America doing out there, right, in so-called Syria for all of that time? You didn't hear no reports about them targets that they done eliminated and so on and so forth. And what you have to remember, or as embarrassing, right, as America is as the situation with America is, right, in that the Russians are showing them up. You also have to remember, right, that those targets, right, those 200, 300 some odd targets are actually American targets. They're not actually Syrian rebel targets. They're actually American mercenary targets, right? Like you watch the movie Batman and Batman, you had the character and the enterprise run by Ra's al Ghul. Those were mercenaries, man, paid to kill, right? Paid to create terror, man. So they're going to show you that in these movies, right? They actually, they in these movies they show you that they're in the real world, right? These terrorists, these so-called terrorists, these so-called people that set up these, anti-government um, allegiances and so on and so forth, right? For lack of a better statement, really, right, are just mercenaries. They're just mercenaries. The guys that are paid to, they're the guys that get paid to kill. It's that simple of a fact. All right. So when they're destroying these 300 targets, they're just destroying 300 American American mercenary bases, man. Another way to put it, American assets, right? Because they're assets to the American government. All right. So getting back into the scriptures, it says here, a sword is set upon you. So in so doing, all right, they're gonna make moves to where they're gonna agitate Russia. All right, that's in the foreseeable future. All right, they're gonna have it to where a false flag's gonna pop off or something like that, and or Russia hit one of their actual, their actual known assets, and something can pop off in that fashion. All right, the intricacies of it, I can't tell you. All we know is what the scripture says, and the scripture saying, man, a sword is set upon you, right? And who may be it that can turn it back? It says the fire is set among you, and who may be it that can quench it? Plagues are sent upon you. You go to the book of Zechariah, the 14th chapter and the 12th verse. It talks about the plagues. All right, right. It talks about this shall be the plague where with all people that have fought against Jerusalem, that shall smite all people that have fought against Jerusalem. All right. So that plague's gonna go out forth, and those ICBM nuclear missiles. All right. Those ICBM nuclear missiles, of which all of these different countries have got all their hands in the part of that German technology, right? The wise men of Maktesh, right? They got all of that, all right, and they're adding it to their arsenal. They're adding it to their entourage of missiles, right, in order to destroy America, which is Babylon, henceforth fulfilling the scriptures, man. Okay, so it says, the mighty Lord sendeth plagues, and who is it that can drive them away? It says, fire, right, shall go forth from his wrath, right? And who is it? Who may be it that can quench it? So talking about prosperity, and we're gonna prosper in this, that, and the third, and we're gonna do this after then, and we're gonna get this, and all of that. Lord's saying you can't, there's no stimulus package, right? That you're gonna set forth, right, to have it to where you're gonna survive the nuclear storm the nuclear thunder that's gonna be out there, man. The nuclear fire that's gonna be out there. You ain't gonna be able to quench that. All right. This is the 10th verse. He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? This is the Lord threatening, and who shall not utterly be beaten to powder at his presence. So in the presence of the Lord, man's gonna be beaten down to powder, man. All right, they're gonna be just beaten down to the powder. Right, this is the 12th verse. All right, and hey, that coincides with the book of Isaiah, the 63rd chapter on the first verse. Who is this that come traveling from Bosra? All right, who is this that coming from Eden with my dyed garments from Bosra? Right, and the Lord responded, "I that is glorious, I that is that's mighty to save," something to that side effect. Right, he says, "And the people that were none with me, I've trodden them in my fury." Talking about them Edomites, man. Alright, says the earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof, and the sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, right? And the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also. It says before the Lord and before the glory, right? And so the earth quaketh. You got an example over here, right? And also when you go into the book of Mark, 13th chapter tells you about how he was gonna have certain what you call it, certain events happening within the earth to let you know the Lord was coming back. And one of those was gonna be earthquakes, man. That was gonna be a sign, right, of the Lord's return. Okay, getting back onto this, it says this is the 13th verse. For strong is the right hand that bendeth the bow, right, his arrows, and that stoopeth, that shooteth, uh, uh, that shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to shoot into the ends of the world. So behold, the plagues are sent forth, right, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. Right, the fire is kindled, and shall not be put out till it consume the foundations of the earth. Right. So all your mighty, Edomite glory is going to be put to the ground, man. In fact, when you go into the book of Job, the 20th chapter, it says you're going to melt away, man. All right. All of your riches, they're going to melt away. They're going to flow away. Right. Because the Most High is going to burn it up, man. Okay. So it says here, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent forth upon the earth, all right, and shall not return. And this is the spirit really that you ought to be in, because look, man, our salvation is not guaranteed. We don't even know of our salvation. We know of it through the scriptures, but as an individual, can you say I've made it? I've got my ticket on the chariot? No, man. And that's why the man Ezra, the prophet Ezra, when he saw the vision of all of this happening, that was the best way he could put it. All right, and you're seeing this manifesting before our eyes. And when he saw it, he says, "Woe is me." Man. All right, because he would have felt a sick feeling. All right, he would have felt some type of way, man. All right, it says the beginnings of sorrows, great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. All right, right. So a lot of death's gonna come upon the earth. Save, the Most High is beautiful. So the Most High will have it to where people in your immediate circle, your people that you work for, people that you've been around, and they would have spoke against the truth and so on and so forth. Oh, they'll be preserved, man. They'll make it through, man. Don't worry about that. Right, but they're gonna make it through, so the Most High can have it to where the prophecies can be fulfilled in that. The scripture talks about unleashing our anger on these Edomites, and how much more a devil than the devil that you know, man. All right. So the Most High is gonna have it to where the spirits having me to think in this fashion. But some of those people that in your immediate circle, you might see them in that day, man. All right, to execute that vengeance written in the holy scriptures. All right. He says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, right? The beginning of wars, right? And the powers shall stand in fear, right? The beginning of evils, and evils are bad times, right? Going to book of Second Corinthians, the 15th chapter, it tells you about the bad times, man. Famine, right? All right, let's go and say here, behold, famine, plagues, missiles, right? Not only just missiles, you're gonna have plagues of crops, all right, but they got this GMO crap out there that don't really have plagues in it. So that's not a benefit. That's a disbenefit. All right, you can have it to where man, they, hey, I was gonna say an example, but that's that goes into my personal business. Pretty much, I put it in this fashion. There's an instance, all right, in my own immediate surroundings where we've taken this piece of food, and it's the joke that the next person who's gonna make a row or make a complaint about something is gonna eat it. Here's the funny thing: we've had that for upwards of 12 months now. That thing ain't right, man. Right? It's not going off, man. Right? Because it's got all of that GMO crap in it. See, food's supposed to go off after a certain period of time. Certainly after 12 months, it's supposed to go off. Man. And when you see this piece of food, it looks all right, man. It looks like it's just come out fresh from the shop, man. All right. So it says, famine, plagues, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, judgment, man. All right, for correction. All right, that's what when you amend something, you amend it, you correct it. All right, you make a change to it. And it says, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, right? Nor be no, be always mindful of their scourges. So all of these things gonna happen. They ain't gonna turn from their wickedness, man. All the plagues gonna come upon the milk and the missiles, all of that. But they're still gonna be so fucking hard headed. That's going for both our people, right? And Esau, obviously Esau, because he's the wicked. Right? It says, behold, vehicles shall be so good cheap upon the earth, namely the oil, the price of oil going down to $50 and below a barrel. All right, that drives down the price of everything. Okay, because everything's linked to oil, right? Plastics are derived from oil, so price of plastics goes down, the price of your packaging goes down. But even on a more obvious level, you gotta transport those goods after they're packaged. All right, so when they packaged, you're gonna be transported. What did you use to transport? You use the oil. So the price of vegetables are gonna be so good, are so good cheap right now. All right, the people gonna think themselves into being a good case, and it says even then shall the evils go upon the earth. So look, man, don't be surprised, right? Going into Saturnalia when these people are getting married and all of that, and because the prices of oil is down and the rate of inflation is still being kept artificially at about just over 0%. All right, both in about there in the States, out there in China, and out here in England, right? And this is the first time I've ever heard of anything like that, to where all of these so-called central banks, right, are keeping all of their interest rates at about zero. Now they talk mostly about the Federal Reserve, all right, but it's the same thing out here in England, and it's the same thing out there in China, because when they spoke about it in China and raised it up a couple of percent, the whole world felt that, man. I think it was what they call it, Black Monday or Black Friday, something like that, man. The whole world felt that, and that was a couple of percentage points, man. All right. So you think yourself to be in good case right now, but I won't be surprised during your so-called Saturnalia, the most I have certain things pop off, man. And that's gonna be hell for you people out there, cause hey, man, ain't nothing worse than this thing popping off in the winter, man. Alright? Because not only have to battle everything else that's gonna be going on, the martial law, the missiles and so on and so forth. Alright? You also gonna have to battle the cold, man. Alright? This is for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and others that are escaped shall the sword destroy. Alright, which is that's a fitting place to to stop. The whole thing is good, man. Alright. But you can see, I'll be here reading pretty much all evening. I don't want to bore you, but I get into it, match it up with the things that are happening out there. Alright, but pretty much with that, I'm gonna say double honors to the apostles of GMS. Alright. Honor you brothers that be pushing this truth in its sincerity. Stay in the spirit. Shalom.